So apparently Code Pink is coming to the aid of the House of Representative Floridian that was basically kicked off of the stage and just kicked out of the building for saying the word vagina, which is a medical term. Anyway, the point is, Code Pink is planning on August to march on the RNC's doorsteps in Tampa, Florida, and make a big stink about it. And, I can't blame them for this. In fact, why hasn't the ACLU intervened as well? I mean, why can't you say vagina in front of the House and Senate as you're making a point? It is, as much as I have to fucking hear that I'm not allowed to have an opinion because of it's a private forum, it's a private website, it's a private, fucking private. Well, guess what? The House and Senate floor is not private. The roads are not private. A library is not private. Public property is a safe haven then, correct? By your logistics? Oh wait, no, conservatives don't believe in freedom anyway. It has nothing to do with fucking property, because if they really believed in freedom, it wouldn't matter where it was. It wouldn't matter whether or not it was on private or public property. Freedom would be paramount. Freedom would be the absolute truth. It doesn't have limitations. It doesn't have stimulations. It's simply either you have the freedom to do this or you don't. And the right wing doesn't believe in freedom. Moderators don't believe in freedom. People that make excuses for moderators don't believe in freedom. So it wouldn't matter anyway if it was public or private. But I say if they want to keep using the excuse of private property, we just take away their private property. Then they have nothing. Absolutely nothing. They can fucking die in the street. Fuck them. But my point is that because this representative was wrongly, just forced out of the building for saying a medical terminology, rightfully Code Pink is defending her, as well as they should. And they're calling on other feminists and women and just anyone that's just offended as I am or they are about this whole ordeal, to come to the RNC with them in August sometime in Tampa, Florida, and they're calling themselves the Vagina Warriors, which I think is very excellent. And I would be a proud Vagina Warrior. And not even so much because of, it's not about the issues of birth control or anything like that. I know they're going to try to spin it into that, and I can understand why that's what they do. That's their issue. But if you ask me, it comes down to the fact that we have no freedom of speech. People do not really appreciate freedom. They do not appreciate the freedom to be able to actually say what you want to say without any repercussions, without having to think about it, without some kind of, stipulation along the way. There's always something. You can never just say something and not have to, apologize for it. You don't have to change the wording. You don't have to watch what you say to who or where or anything. Just be able to say how you fucking feel. It's not that hard of a concept, and it's not something we should even have to be talking about. It's not something that we should have to fight for in goddamn 2012. And still, we're having to wonder whether or not we can say something somewhere. Are you fucking kidding me? So, that's why I'm glad to see Code Pink taking some initiative. Even if it's not really for that reason. Even if it's, kind of weak in momentum. The point is, I'm glad somebody is making it their issue. And the ACLU needs to make it their issue too. If you ask me, the ACLU has lately been too corporatized because they have time to defend the Ku Klux Klan to be able to post billboards up to advertise themselves. But meanwhile, they can't fight against moderators. I'm not trying to put a billboard up to make money. I'm not trying to make money off of freedom of speech. I'm merely saying people have the right to do it. If they happen to make money because of it, that's something else. We'll worry about that bridge when we cross it. But the point is that you have freedom of speech. That is absolute. You have freedom of association. You have freedom to be somewhere, and you're allowed to be there, and you don't no one has the right to fucking bully you and take that away from you and just push you around and tell you where you can and can't be. And that's what the ACLU has forgotten. And the ACLU has basically just amounted to defending corporations' right to be free. They defend corporations' freedom of speech, but not people's. They defend corporations' ability to continue to make business, and other corporations want to censor them and silence them and subjugate them, rightfully so. That's how they make their capital. And the ACLU is basically just more so a union for smaller corporations than for actual freedom of speech. And mind you, I'm tired. I didn't actually plan to make this video, but it just needed to be said. I came across this, and I wanted to talk about it. I didn't want to wait till tomorrow because I'm not going to have time to do it tomorrow. So I'm just getting this out of the way, that I'm glad to see Code Pink actually doing something useful. I'm glad to see Code Pink actually give a damn about freedom of speech. Even if it's only because it was a woman, even if it's only because it's just another way for them to sneak in, more of their issues about abortion or birth control or whatever. The point is, at least it's doing something. At least it's some kind of blow to moderators. And that makes my day. That's all I ask for at the end of the day, is that something work against moderators. And if you ask me, this does. Because if you can't even say vagina, then you are not a free country. I would rather live in Iran or as much as people bitch about Iran and North Korea and shit because they're like, if you're a communist, go live in North Korea. I'd gladly live in North Korea because I sincerely doubt North Korea would be so bad. And you know what else? If I were to move to North Korea, I could say whatever the fuck I want to. I mean, about the worst thing I could possibly say is about the North Korean government itself. As long as it wasn't about the North Korean government, I wouldn't be getting banned from shit. And even if I were to talk bad about the North Korean government, it would probably depend on the context of it. Because I sincerely doubt the North Korean government is just insane and barbaric and like, oh, no, you can't say anything bad about us. No, I don't believe that at all. If I have nothing bad to say about them, I'm not going to say anything bad about them anyway. And I have nothing bad to say about North Korea. They have a pretty damn good country. I don't agree with the nationalist stance, but given their economic conditions, given where they are, and surrounded by enemies from all sides, it's not surprising. It's not surprising how they go about themselves. It's not surprising their politics. I just don't agree with it. And, what? Would that get me accused of being a South Korean spy? Would that get me accused of being a traitor? No. And in most normal situations, it never would. But the fact is, everyone in the West is insane with moderator logic. They don't care about whether or not it makes sense. They just feel entitled to doing it. They feel entitled to the rape. They want to rape, they're gonna rape, and nothing's going to stop them. That's the problem with moderators. And that's why I'm glad to see Code Pink doing something. So I support Code Pink. I gladly would call myself a Vagina Warrior. And hopefully they get some shit done and it just takes off a few appendages from the moderators. So, see you later.